we still have 2 months to go for year 2025, and this thing is coming out in year 2027. Hi and welcome back to the channel. I'm Steven with your weekly figure news fix. This time around 20th to 25th of October 2025. For this week, we have a moderate amount of new, genuine and licensed PVC figures on pre-order. But on the third party side, there are a lot of stuff to go through. But the worst of all is that this week is way too good when it comes to figure pre-orders in general. Regardless of whether it is genuine or third party, this week's pre-order lineup is too good. So many temptations, my wallet just couldn't catch a break. So let's move on to Hobby Link Japan. HLJ is an affiliate partner of this channel. If you're planning to purchase or pre-order literally anything, not just anime figures, please do make use of my links down in the description below, or sometimes the occasional pop-up link on the top right corner of this video to purchase and pre-order stuff, and that is how you support this channel, right? Okay, so moving on to new stuff this week, and we only have one single 1x4 scale. This is a very good one. Coming from Good Smile Company. Hold on, is this a Good Smile or is it a fraying figure? I don't really remember. Though I would say that this is one of the better 1x4 scales out there because number one, it is not the bunny figure, and number two, she has a pretty damn nice pose, right? Action pose, fighting pose. So coming from BNHA, My Hero Academia Mirko, a re-release for 40,000 yen at 1x4 scale, March 2026 release. So this is just less than half a year away, 5 months away roughly, 5 to 6 months. And you just gotta love the color gradient on her skin, on her outfit in general. I love that heavy shading, right? I'm not exactly a BNHA fan, has never been a fan of shonen stuff in general. And I would say that I watch Demon Slayer just for the animation quality by Ufotable. If it was some other animation studio who did the anime, then most likely I might end up ditching the show halfway, right? So I have never been a shonen kind of fan, but hey, this is a very nice figure and I wouldn't mind having one in my collection even if money is no object, simply for the pose. This is great. So if you missed out the first chance, pre-order it. Moving on to the next one here, now we enter 1x6 scale territory, not too many 1/6ers this week. So this is a MAPPA and A Dimension collaboration, and if I'm not mistaken, A Dimension is it Chinese or Japanese, man? I'm not too sure about A Dimension. I don't know much about this brand. But anyways, we have Chainsaw Man over here, version Takayuki Takeya, an artist behind the character, 67,000 yen. December release. And going by the price of this thing, I'm inclined to think that this is a Japanese brand, but could be a Chinese brand, but resin figure, which is why it is expensive, right? I wonder if... Okay, this is a PVC figure, 67k. I know that you're kind of getting two figures over here, kind of, but I'm not sure what to think about the price. It feels a bit much to me, yes. And here we go again, my internet sucks. So anyways, not my kind of figure. So will you buy something like this, or would you stick to buying cultured figures of Makima and Weze and Power? Yeah, or would you buy something like this? I would love to hear your opinion if you are a fan of Chainsaw Man. Moving up next, SSR figure, which is under Infinity Studio. We have a 1x6 scale hard shell swimwear girls. Original character, yep, a set for 22,600 yen. If you purchase them separately, which you can, it is around 11,600 yen each. But given that how their poses are meant to complement each other, there really isn't much of a reason to get them separately. At least that is what I believe. And of course, if you buy the set, then you get this one single block of base where you can plug both figures on, as you see over here. And I don't really see myself pre-ordering this one, but I will keep an eye on this pair of figures because I find them incredibly attractive. It feels like looking at a pair of models posing for a photographer. So it feels relatable in a way. If you look at this pair of figures from the perspective of slice of life theme, so I like it, even though it is just, they are just swimsuit figures. But the character design really speaks to me. So we will see. Oh, this is a nice photograph. Right, and SSR figure, so far their strategy has been pretty interesting. Each time they come up with new figures of original characters, they often come in pairs. 2 figures, 1 set. You can get them separately, but going by their pose and how they complement each other, I would imagine that 90% of people who pre-order this thing will go for the set, the deluxe version, right? Okay, moving on to the next one here. 1x7 skill territory, and we have one of the big highlights this week over here. Cinderella Glass Princess version from Goddess of Victory Nikke by Good Smile Company, almost 27,000 yen, January 2027. Yep, releasing in 2027. And this is the one thing I don't get about Japanese figure brands. They are obviously running behind schedule, and yet they refuse to slow down with their new figure announcements during Wonder Festival or any other figure events. They keep announcing more and more, and then the queue gets longer. We still have 2 months to go for year 2025, and this thing is coming out in year 2027. And on top of that, there is always the possibility where the figure might get delayed even further. Now, as a Nikke fan over here, will I get this one at the moment? Very unlikely, because there are too many Cinderella figures. I'm getting a 1.4 from Hobby Sakura, and a 1.7, I'm not sure yet which version to get, right? There are a few choices out there, but I am leaning towards the Max Factory one, which I did not pre-order. 30,000 yen, rough. This one over here, Glass Princess, yeah, I mean her dress and her outfit is pretty unique, I suppose. Translucent parts all over the place, but there is one thing I am really scared about transparent, translucent parts like this, and it is their tendency to turn yellow over time. That is my biggest problem with this kind of parts. They look amazing, they look beautiful when the figure is brand new, but 5 years, 7 years later, they might turn slightly yellowish and then you start hating the figure. Especially if the translucent material over here is made of rubber like PVC. That is one of the bigger problems. If it was clear ABS, then the likelihood of that happening is very low, unless you expose the figure to sunlight, obviously. But if it is rubber like PVC, then that would be my major concern over here. And that is exactly the main issue that is stopping me from considering pre-ordering this figure or even purchasing it after release. Yeah, I'm not too sure about this one. Of course, I would love to review the figure, but keeping it for the long term, I'm not too sure. Moving on to the next one, I actually like this one a lot more than Cinderella earlier. So coming from Good Smile Company as well, we have Maiden from Goddess of Victory Nikke, 25,300 yen almost, releasing in December 2026. Black and red color has always been a good combination. An amazing combination, right? Black and grey with red. I mean, look at supercars, like Lamborghinis, for example. You get grey paint or black paint, and then the brake calipers or the accent colors, you have some red or some yellow, right? Either red or yellow most of the time. Same thing over here. You apply the same concept with color matching on the figures, on the character designs. They look amazing. So this one is high on my want list. In fact, I would say this figure is the most tempting one for me personally this week. This is my favorite figure this week. Will I pre-order her early? That remains a very difficult decision for me to make. Because it feels like nowadays everything just gets discounted after release, no matter how much hype there was during the pre-order period, during announcement. The only exception to that is obviously 18 plus edgy figures. Those things always go up in value after release. But outside of that, yeah, I'm being very careful with my pre-orders over here, and I'm still indecisive over whether to pre-order this one, but I still have some time to decide. And I think that the main attraction point of this figure is definitely the face expression. Yeah, like the way she's licking her finger or something like that, it looks very seductive to me. Yeah, and that is the main reason why I like this figure so much. Moving on to the next one, by Max Factory, we have Sakurako from Blue Archive at 1/7 scale, only 20,000 yen. That is a great price, man. December 2026 release as well. Well, a great price because the base kinda suck from the looks of it. Yeah. Just a black disc with some decal work on the surface from the looks of it, but hey, great for Blue Archive fans, I suppose. Max Factory really rarely screws up, right? And oh, that rifle. I just love details on anime figures like this. Now, Blue Archive is a bit difficult to predict, and I have so many regrets when it comes to Blue Archive figures. Skipping them, and then their value went up. The ones by Spiritiel, for example, and a few others. Yeah, so the main reason why I skipped past them is because of priorities, obviously. So far, despite my claim every week that I love my lollies, I end up buying the big Oppai characters from Nikke instead of the lolly characters from Blue Archive. For some reason, I don't know. So I am not going to pre-order this one early, but maybe I should bookmark her because of how affordable it is. And who knows what the price will be like after release. If it means I will be celebrating, I will buy one. If the value goes up, so be it. Yeah, I'll just move on to the other figures that I want even more. Moving up to the next one, we have one of the main highlights this week as well, coming from Wing. 1/7 scale badge. Gorgeous Speed Star version from Azur. Okay, this one has been showcased in OneFest a few times over. Since last year's OneFest summer, I think, in prototype form, and then earlier this year in winter, and also in summer in August. Finally, we have her fully painted and ready for pre-order. Now, overall as a package, 30,000 yen is very reasonable because you're getting a cute lolly and a very detailed bike. Just that I'm unsure whether to pre-order this early or to get her after release once again, because cheapskate me, you know, I always look for bargains and deals and so on. And this bike is pretty unique, I suppose. It is almost like a scooter. I'm not even sure how to describe this, man. It is like a super deformed version of a motorcycle rather than a proper bike. And I am not sure what to think about it because on one hand, it is unique. There is nothing quite like this out there. So if you have a few anime figures with bike already, motorbikes, then this one will look very different for sure. But at the same time, I have a problem where I tend to look at things from a very realistic point of view. So when things don't make sense, then I start having problems with it. So in this sense over here, it feels like Butch is sitting on top of, how do I even describe this? Sitting on top of a ride you'll see in a playground or even something for children in a shopping mall. You know, you put in some coins and then you let your kid ride the toy vehicle. And then there is some music playing on and some movements, something like that. It looks like a ride you'll see in a shopping mall for children rather than a proper motorcycle. And I'm not sure what to think about it, you know, whether I can accept it or not. So I'm feeling a bit conflicted over here. Yes, I'm reading too much into it, obviously. If you find the character to be attractive, yeah, get one. This is amazing. Wing Company does not often stand out that much compared to other brands, but this one is quite different for once. Moving up next, we have a new Hatsune Miku figure, Digital Stars 2024 version at 1/7 scale by Hobby Stock. 25,000 yen, July release next year. Okay, so Hobby Stock makes a lot of Miku figures. In fact, it feels like half of all of the figures they announce, they are always Miku. This is one of the cheaper ones because they also have Miku figures that approach almost 40,000 yen in price point. And of course, those figures are a lot more detailed, more complex by comparison. Now, this Miku over here, there is nothing quite wrong with her, but once again, I have a small problem with it simply because this Miku reminds me of a price figure of the same exact version, or rather a really similar one. Was it by Sega? I can't remember. I remember that black color outfit with green color highlights a lot. And that should be a price figure, I think. So even though this is a premium scale figure, I look at the character design, it reminds me of a price figure for some reason. Of course, this isn't just a me problem. The next issue is that I'm not sure if I like how the figure is leaning backwards ever so slightly. Maybe you have not noticed it, but now that I point it out, you probably can't unsee it, right? So the whole figure is like leaning backwards a bit and it doesn't feel natural. Of course, nobody walks like that, but if you are walking or running or jogging halfway and then you shoot a series of photographs and then you freeze the motion, you might get something like this, but still, I'm not sure what to think about this. But this is not even close to best 20 Hatsune Miku figures out there. Not even close. So, yeah. The hardest core of Miku fans will want her, but for me, this is a pass. Moving up next. Okay, this is kind of a main highlight this week as well, because I find the character design to be pretty unique. So we have Senran Kagura Shinobi Master New Link, Toki Bikini Armor version by Medicos Entertainment, 21,000 yen at 1/7, July release 2026. Alright, somehow in anime and in games as well, specifically Japanese ones, the higher the level of the character is, the higher the defense of the character is, the less armor she wears around the most critical parts, which is the main body, the torso, the stomach, everything. They go full armor, protecting the limbs, the arms and the legs. But then the important parts, where your heart is, there is no armor. Yeah, Japanese anime or game characters. This is another such example. But bikini armor, right, reminds me of this short series of anime from a few years ago. Was it Bikini Warriors or something? Yeah, we used to get figures of those as well in the past. So this one reminded me of those, but that was quite long ago. So I find this figure to be rather attractive, even if it is very fan servicey. And I do think that Senran Kagura fans should pick one up. Yeah. Moving up next, from Apex Toys, we have KDA, or is it KDA? KDA, right? All Out Ahri from League of Legends, 1/7 scale at 22,500 yen, September 2026 release. So this is like the second or third KDA figure by Apex Toys already. I think I prefer the previous release better, but it is not like this is bad looking, and Apex Toys is making amazing figures nowadays. So good, in fact, that it feels like they are leaving other Chinese brands in the dust when it comes to consistency. Especially when you factor in the fact that they almost have new stuff going on pre-order every 2 weeks, and there is a long waiting list, right? Apex Toys figures nowadays, you wait 1 year between pre-order and release, and they rarely screw up things. I know that there is an issue with their Hotel figure from Genshin Impact, a small issue regarding a specific pack. But the most recent figure unboxing I did on March 7th by Apex Toys, that thing was incredible, man. Yeah, so Apex Toys is very easy to recommend if you like what you are looking at over here. Next up, from Prisma Wing, we have Flower Imitation Eater illustration by Nikke. So whenever I see this phrase over here, illustration by Nikke, I know that the figure is going to bin. I'm sorry, Prisma Wing, but that happens almost every single time, regardless of which figure brand. Metos has a few figures which are original characters illustrated by Nikke, those bargain bin after release. Wing Company also has a few, like literally every single one. They get discounted after release, just a matter of whether it is 10% or 50%. Yeah, depending on your luck in that case. This is a beautiful figure. I like it a lot and I actually want one, if not for the price of 30,000 yen. But Prismawing is no stranger to overpricing their stuff almost every single time. So I can't say that I'm surprised by the pricing over here. AmiAmi has a AmiAmi exclusive bonus version for around 33,000 yen, I think. But I'm not into collecting merchandise, so if I were to get this figure, I would get it over here on HLJ and save that 3,000 yen. Or perhaps wait until after release. I don't think it is worth pre-ordering this figure too early. Yeah. However, I love the detail on this thing because it feels so science fiction-ish. And how she is retracting her face mask down. The detail around her mask and everything on this figure is exceptional. I love the figure. I love the character design. The only problems I have is number 1, the potential bargain binning, and number 2, the price over here. Yeah. So it is not like this is a bad figure. Just that whether it is bad value or not, I leave it up to you to decide. To me, it is too expensive. Moving up next, okay, we have a new Resin Stout figure from a Chinese brand called Hanabi. Okay, just under 19,000 yen, October 2026 release, and I am going to keep an eye on this. For the past 1 year or 1.5 years, I said that I wanted a Resin Stout figure, and until today, I have not purchased one yet. The Ultra version, where she looks super dry and horny, going by her face expression, that is the version I have been eyeing. And that one is getting discounted in China, in Taobao, right? Can get one for roughly the equivalent of 20,000 yen. So not far off this version over here. So I'm still leaning towards the Ultra version, but at the same time, I kind of want to review this one over here by Hanabi because I have not reviewed any figure by this brand yet. And Hanabi, in case you guys are unaware of, they already have quite a few figures out there released. You can check out user pictures in MFC. And their figures are pretty decent overall, just that they started off making lower budget scale figures of original characters under 10,000 yen. Each one of them turns out excellent, and now they are slowly getting into slightly more premium scale figures. They have Azur figures on pre-order. What was her name again? Yeah, the tennis outfit one. And now they're going for Ryza, which is a great choice for under 20k. But in case you are unable to find an affordable Ryza scale figure, let's say 20k or less, then you should take a look at this one. The details of this thing is actually right up there, comparable to Japan's brands. I mean, look at the shading, the brown color, right, on her belt, on her, the leather stuff on her thighs, and even her red color shorts. Heavy shading everywhere. So this one is as good as it gets. Look at the heavy shading. Nice base as well. So I kind of want one. Yeah. Moving up next, from Kotobukiya, we have 1/7 scale Dark Stalkers BB Hood Bishoujo statue for 23,000 yen, May release next year. So this is pretty much Little Red Riding Hood Second Amendment version. Those of you from the United States who know what I'm referring to, right? Yeah, your gun rights. So this is, personally, I would call this Second Amendment version, or maybe middle school starter pack. This is just Little Red Riding Hood. Just that Dark Stalkers version, I suppose. So I'm not collecting this stuff, but if there is a problem I have, her Uzi SMG over here, just plain black. I would love to see metallic paint. I would love to see some shading, you know. This is just black. At least put what do you call that color? Gunmetal. At least do metallic gunmetal paint for the Uzi SMG over here. But maybe they are trying to be accurate compared to the actual character color from the official artwork or something. I don't know. They are trying to be loyal to the original artwork. I understand that. But I still prefer to see a firearm in metallic paintwork. So this is perhaps my main complaint over here. A small one, but still noteworthy. And shading on this figure overall is pretty light. Yeah, not much, I'm afraid. So my concern over here is that this figure turning out looking less detailed in the final release 6 months, 8 months later. That is my biggest concern, because when it comes to Kotobukiya figures, if there is no specific lineup, it is not Art FXJ, it is not Bishoujo statue, if it does not belong to any specific lineup, then the quality of the paintwork, the shading tend to be quite decent. But if there is a very specific lineup like Bishoujo statue series or Art FX series, that is where my concern is, because this is a line of slightly cheaper figures, slightly budget, like Art FX figures. They're often under 20,000 yen and 1/8 scale instead of 1/7. So these two specific lines of figures, they tend to be lower detail in general, and that is why I'm concerned about the paintwork over here. They might skimp on the weathering. Yeah. Moving up next, we have DMM Factory 1/7 scale Niji Sanji Ibrahim. Yep, a VTuber, 18,000 yen, June released 2026. So just a pretty dude. And I suppose that it makes sense, right, not to price this thing so high, because in general, scale figures of male characters sell a lot less than female characters. So if they price this too high, then it would be even harder to sell. DMM Factory figures, they are normally not that cheap. You know, their mid-mason figures are 30k each. Absurd. But this is 18k. Yeah, there has to be a strategic reason behind it. Or maybe the VTuber being represented by this figure, you know, dude is not charging a huge amount for the licensing. That is also a possibility. Moving up next, this is a re-release from Super Robot Ross Cross Omega. How do I even pronounce her name? Is it Shate or Shet or Shade? Because Shet is like the past tense of shit, you know? So she shed in her pants, something like that. Jude Vesten. Okay, swimsuit version by Amakuni, 21,000 yen. This is non-scale, but I grouped her with the other 1/7 scales because that is roughly the size of Amakuni figures. April release 2026. So I love this character because of her alternative faceplate, where she is wasting ice cream and licking off the remains of her own opie. Yes, so that is a very attractive, very seductive faceplate. I love it. But otherwise, I don't know much about this character and what is up with Amakuni doing on HLJ, right? Normally, Amakuni figures are Hobby Link Japan. No, Hobby Japan exclusive, my bad. So Amakuni figures, almost every single one of them are HJ exclusive, which means only select figure websites will offer them on pre-order, and AmiAmi is one of them. But if that HJ exclusive figure during the first release gets a re-release later on, then it is no longer an exclusive. So that might be why, yep, HLJ is able to offer this figure over here. Okay, Amakuni, they make amazing figures. I just unboxed their Nikke Alice Sweet Home version. I love that figure, yeah. So their quality tend to be quite good. Go for it if you want this figure. Moving up next, we have a low budget figure by a new brand. I've never heard of this brand, Power Alpaca. 1/7 scale Flower Shadow Contract Series Mist Bloom Traces Chikashi Kosaka, 13,500 yen only for something this good looking. May 2026 release. And I have to say, wow. This would be easily over 20,000 yen. If she is coming from a Japanese brand, this has to be Chinese. Oh, I can remove the skirt around her waist. But I would prefer to keep it on, I suppose, because it makes the figure look a little bit more detailed. But this is a good figure to have for less than 14,000 yen. Great base as well, not a plain disc base, you know. Okay. I know nothing about this brand, and I know that I normally, recommend Chinese brands easily, even though I know nothing about them because they tend to turn out great. But recently, just a couple of days ago, there is a Chinese brand that has been embroiled in a controversy regarding the QC of their figures. Not really QC, but more like, yeah, a combination of QC and also inaccuracy compared to the official artwork or prototypes that they showed to customers during the pre-order period, but maybe I will discuss that in a separate video. I don't want to go off topic over here. Okay, so this one, well, depends on whether you want to take the risk or not. Not really a big risk at under 14k for potentially very good looking figure. Or maybe wait until after release, then wait for user pictures before buying one. Because it is not exactly that common for a Chinese brand figure to sell out immediately right after release. That rarely happens. So if you want to wait until after release, not a bad idea either. Because yeah, new brand, we know nothing. Next up, we have Dayu, another Chinese brand, and Dayu is back with a second Girls Band Cry figure. I think it was 3 or 4 weeks ago. They put their first one on pre-order, and what they are doing it different compared to other brands is that you are kind of like getting so many parts similar to Figmas, except these are not action figures. So coming from Girls Band Cry, we have Natsuno Mankitsu Shite Sakebe Series number 2 Subaru Awa. 10,000 yen only at 1/7, June release 2026. So this picture right here, as you can see, you're getting a bunch of different arms so that you can pose the figure ever so slightly different. My opinion is that having 2 different ways to display is enough. 4 is a bit excessive, but not complaining about getting free stuff in the box for such a low price. Yeah, it is a bit excessive for sure. But I'm glad that they are doing things differently. So my guess over here is that this base over here, no, that is the drum, right? That base over there, the love-shaped base, not love-shaped, more like the shape of a shield. You can open it and then you can keep the extra parts inside the base and close it up. The base is actually a box. The first figure from this brand was also the same. So this is incredible value for 10,000 yen. Moving up next, from Xingluoguan Studio. Okay, Xingluoguan has been around for maybe a year or 2. I'm not quite sure how old this brand is. They don't release many stuff, but they have been around for quite a while. So they have this, I call it a super lolly because she is more lolly than an average lolly figure. I spied on Yume Sakura while she was changing in the classroom and was caught and called. What a title. So they would rather describe an anime figure of an original character with a long ass title like that, just like how animes are nowadays, that stupid long title. They would prefer to describe a figure with a sentence over giving her a proper name. I don't know why. 7,500 yen, but small figure, no? She's short, but 1/7 scale, even smaller. 7,500 yen, December 2026 release. So they put like 3 figures on pre-order in one single year and then they make us wait another year to get it. I'm not sure why. Maybe it is like a side venture. They make some other kinds of products and figures are just, you know, a side quest to them. That is the most likely scenario over here. Yeah, and once again, as a self-proclaimed lolly lover, no, I'm not getting this one. At least not for now. Moving up next, we have a re-release by Kotobukiya 1/8 scale Art FXJ Persona 3 R Hero. Okay, Persona 3 Reload. 17,500 yen May release. Yep, Art FX series, their lower budget scale figure line. And in general, they are still good purchases if you are on a budget. And it is not like we get many Persona figures, you know. So if you don't have this one yet, then maybe pick one up. But I don't concern myself with male characters because I just couldn't finish buying the female characters. So why would I buy a dude? Right. Next up, we have... Okay, we are now entering low budget figure territory. So this is the best seller in AmiAmi this week apparently. Number 1 ranking. Honkai Star Rail Gift Plus Fugue. Fugue. Starluck Amass Fortunes version by Mietos. 6,600 yen at 1/8 scale. April release 2026. On my Discord server, yeah, we were discussing about this figure just a few days ago. And I said that I feel bad for figure stores who still have leftover stock of the existing 1/10 scale version also by Mietos. How are they going to sell that now? I'm not sure. Because once people see this one, yeah, they won't buy the older version because it is smaller. Bargain bin time, I suppose. Yes, I would wait for this newer version because she is bigger. I would take 1/8 over 1/10 any day. So Gift Plus was 1/10 in the past, but now it seems like they are going up to 1/8 scale. And this one is kind of a no-brainer for Honkai fans. Pick one up, pre-order it if you haven't done so. Next up, we have League of Legends Wild Rift Gift Plus Crystal Ghost Lux, 6,000 yen at 1/8 scale, also by Mietos, releasing in May 2026. You know, the first time I saw this figure a few days ago, I called her, the League of Legends version of Saber Lily. And I am still going to call her that today. It is like Saber Lily, but caster version, and with a different face, I suppose. Yeah, the shiny paint finish is quite nice. It looks a bit pearlescent on her chest. Detail levels are decent for a 1/8 scale. I have already reviewed one single Gift Plus figure just not too long ago, the Alicia swimsuit version by, Gift Plus Mietos. It was good. It was really good. And look at the base over here. In that review of mine, I praised Mietos for not cutting corners with the base, and it seems like they're sticking to it. Look at this base over here. That is amazing for 6,000 yen. What is Ting Yun's base like? Okay, there we go. Not a plain round disc base. Simpler, but still not a plain round disc base. I hate those kind of bases so much, but Japanese brands, they keep giving us that, and it is not like we have a choice anyway. Next up, Pop Operate Aegis school uniform version from Persona 3 Reload, 5,000 yen, May release. So this is actually a new figure. 5,000 yen should be new. I thought they already have a pop-up rate of Aegis. I think it was in her battle outfit, not school uniform. Maybe wait until after release. I don't really recommend pre-ordering normal pop-up rates that early. Next one here, we have Persona 3 Reload Formism Orpheus by Square Enix, 7,000 yen. I know that I diss on Square Enix a lot, and I am still going to do that today. Their quality control is incredibly inconsistent, but if there is a silver lining about Square Enix, I suppose that between a Square Enix figure and a Funko Pop, then I would say that Square Enix is less trashy in comparison, so get this one over any Funko Pops. And the last figure on HLJ, Medicom. And with Blackjack and Pinocchio, 5,400 yen after a small discount, June release. Blackjack, I used to watch the anime a little bit. Some crazy genius surgeon, right? I don't remember much, however, and this is obviously low budget figure. Kind of looks like toys for children rather than a collectible scale figure. Okay, now we shall move on to AmiAmi for more exclusive items and figures that have not been listed by HLJ yet at the time of recording this video. So, if you're enjoying this video so far, please subscribe to this channel and give this video a like. It will only take you 2 or 3 seconds to do that, just one tap on your screen. Okay, so the first one over here, this is an AmiAmi exclusive, and Our Treasure has been pulling off this stunt for quite a while now because honestly, their figures are not very good. Not even worth the 20,000 yen asking price at 1/8 scale. I often tell people that if you want a bikini or swimsuit figure by Our Treasure, this brand specifically, then you wait until after release. They often always get discounted. Can get her for 13,000 yen maybe, right? So I feel like they are making the figure exclusive as a way of trying to drive the demand artificially, trying to make people who have severe FOMO issues to pre-order it early at full price. But please don't, man. Please don't. So this Marin Kitagawa over here, this is the finished painted scale figure version, and it is exclusive. And you know, Marin in this specific bikini outfit, this very specific outfit, just get the Good Smile one for 13,000 yen, man. Why would you pay 20k for a figure with the same outfit and smaller in scale? The Good Smile is 1/7, right? So Get the good smile version, get the Aniplex version. Why would you pay more for less? Smaller scale over here. And as usual with this brand over here, they have a 9400 yen version, a cheaper version by half. This is assembled figure. So the figure is kind of like partially completed. A base layer of paint, but you need to assemble the figure and paint it, finish the figure. Maybe there is a basic skin color on the body, and then you do the shading and the clear coating work by yourself. So this is something that I would say for people who want to experiment with painting your own figures, you want to start practicing before you move on to painting your own garage kits. But even so, 9400 yen is, I mean, that is quite a bit of money to spend on an experiment. I would rather you buy a bootleg figure and then you just soak the whole figure in in thinner or something, strip off the paint and repaint the thing if you want to practice, right? So just to make it clear, I don't advocate for bootlegs. I have never supported bootlegs, but if you want to experiment stuff, why spend so much money doing so? Yeah. So this partially complete version, it is not an exclusive, but still, regardless of which version it is, stay away from both. Yeah. Moving up next, Amakuni, Hobby Japan exclusive. So this is indirectly an exclusive. Blue Archive Koharu 1/7 scale at a very expensive 24,200 yen because Amakuni knows that you guys would hit the pre-order button anyway. And I'm afraid that despite the high price of this very simple figure, the value after release is very unlikely to drop. That is the most unfortunate part. And the major selling point of this figure, it is the faceplate. So the second faceplate over here, yep, this one. This is like her trademark face expression, and this is the main reason why you buy this figure. You buy this one, you take the figure out from the box after release, and then you swap it out and display her with this faceplate over here. This is like her trademark look, right? And it is this one single feature alone, this face expression, that is going to drive the demand on this figure. And I'm afraid that if you want one, you better pre-order this one early. Yeah, I can't promise that this one will bargain bin, not this time. Okay, moving on to the next one, Kadokawa, and it is a special set. So it is kind of AmiAmi exclusive as well because HLJ has never offered this figure or any Kadokawa figure with a special set. So this is my Sakurajima Hanfu version, 33,000 yen special set, where you are getting a special rubber mat. And if you want figure only, 27,700 yen, which is still very expensive. I can't say I like this figure of my Sakurajima that much because I'm seeing translucent part for her dress again, right? And putting aside the yellowing concerns I mentioned earlier, I don't like the colors over here. That's the problem because you have a blue color skirt, but at the very edges, it is not translucent, like 100% clear. It looks slightly grayish. It is not like clear translucent, but this is more like gray translucent. And for that reason, it almost feels like she is wearing dirty dress, a dress that has been stained with dirt and so on, so it has turned gray color. I know that I'm over-interpreting stuff over here, but that is honestly what I feel. So I don't like this version of mine that much. And until today, so many years later, my favorite My Sakurajima scale figure is still the Spiritial one. The blue Chinese dress sitting on a moon-shaped base. That is my favorite figure of her. Up next, okay, these two figures have been on pre-order for a while, and they will be releasing soon in December. Now AmiAmi is offering something called AmiAmi Pack. It is like a last-ditch effort to try and sell a few more units of a pretty mid figure just by bundling in something extra and calling it an exclusive. I mean, I can be pretty mean sometimes when I make my assumptions, right? I can be a very pessimistic person. But yeah, Belfine does not have good reputation. They have a few good figures, but most of the time their reputation is not good. And this Konpaku Yomu figure here from Toho, it is one of the worst looking figures of her, if I have to be honest over here. Take a look at the one on pre-order by Solarin, for example, looks much nicer, and there are a few other brands making Toho figures. This one, detail levels overall are way lower. I mean, you look at her outfit, not enough detail, not enough folds and shading, stuff like that. I notice it immediately. So I can't see these two figures over here getting a lot of pre-orders. So let's bundle something in, something extra, raise the price a little bit, and label it as an exclusive, and hopefully we can sell a few more units in our inventory. That is the assumption that I'm going to make for now. A very negative one. Next up, Athena X is repainting this figure of Shigu-chan. There is a different color version that went on pre-order quite a while ago. They call this a Joryu Mutan version. Basically tanned skin and a bit of a different color. For 25,600 yen after a small discount, and I'm not sure if HLJ will offer this one next week. I mean this coming week. Depending on whether it is 18 plus or not, right? But I can't remember the previous version. Did HLJ offer it? I feel like they did. I can't remember. But that was also before HLJ decided not to sell 18 plus figures anymore. So I'm not sure if this will ever show up in HLJ. So no, not getting this one despite my love for lollies. Not getting this one. Not feeling the character design, I suppose. In the end, it is all down to character design. Next up, we have Aisherika OL version. 1x6 scale by Bokai. A new brand that I've never seen. Seeing this name for the first time, and this may show up in HLJ later this week, who knows. So after a small discount, 10,450 yen. Original character, releasing in November 2026. For some reason, I assumed that this is a Blue Archive character the first time I saw her because of the halo on her head. Oh, it is just an original character, but hey, you can display her next to Blue Archive figures. The only problem is that she will appear bigger than everyone else because this is a 1/6. Most Blue Archive figures are 1x7, right? So, will you pre-order this? I think this is a good pre-order though. Very lovely face. Moving up next. Okay, the last 4 figures over here are from the 18 plus section, age restricted section of AmiAmi. The first one is Hot Venus, Kanojo Saimin, Koto Tenryuji. I would love to learn some Saimin skills someday. Yeah, for some nefarious reasons. So, 28,600 yen for a Hadaka figure holding a flat piece of PVC that looks like school uniform. This one feels expensive to me, going by the detail levels, but it is Hot Venus we're talking about. They always charge a premium for the figures. October 2026 release. So among many edgy figures I've seen over the years even, this one I don't like it that much. Yeah, it looks pretty low effort to me, though I understand that they are basing it off an existing artwork. Moving up next, we have Danimaru original character Miho Sujinaka reverse bunny version 1x6 scale by Rocket Boy, 27,500 yen, releasing in May 2026. So just a bunny figure, but reverse version, right? Character design is my kind. I love the character design over here, but it is so sad, you know. I buy one of these things and I can't even review them on YouTube. Yeah, if I do buy one. Rocket Boy is good. As a brand, no problems at all. Like Rocket Boy, Hot Venus, Native, they're all connected. Moving up next, we have Dragon Princess Elena Faltania 1x6 scale by Charm. 34,100 yen, releasing in October 2026. And this figure is unique because you're getting a second faceplate with a long tongue. Like this is literally a lizard who is dry and wants to mate. Like animal girls or monster girls are not my kind of thing, but I can see this one doing so well, selling so well, and becoming even more expensive after release. So pick one up, pre-order it if you want her, don't wait. So this one, this is actually the last scale figure on AmiAmi for today. The last figure on AmiAmi here, this is just a quick mention because I don't normally cover action figures. Second X H Action Nagachichi Nagai-san. So an action figure with all of the private parts included, and I'm not sure if I like that because the joint lines are so ugly. And according to my friend who has experience with Second X figures, he said that they were pretty mid, not that good. So it is up to you to take that at face value or to pre-order it anyway because you collect anime figures, action figures. It is up to you. Yeah, so go through the pictures yourself. I'm not scrolling through them for obvious reasons. Our last stop for genuine figures. Man, this is getting pretty long. This is only the genuine figure section. Okay, last section is Ninin game for Be Full Insight Fort Japan figures. 4 of them this week, all of them by Insight. The first one is Bishonen. This is a boy, a dude, but I'm censoring his hits anyway because of gender equality. Tentacle Subjugation Failure Record Magical Boy Scion. 22,000 yen at 1/6 scale, releasing in May 2026. A boy and tentacles. My brain can't even process. Like, I'm not scrolling through the pictures over here, but yeah, I suppose that it is not a weird combination for people who are into Futa and Shota, but whatever. Moving up next, we have Will It Really Fit? The Curiosity of the Bunny Girl Watayuki Rabi, 1/6 scale, 22,000 yen, releasing in May as well. Will it really fit? Of course it will. If you have watched the most cultured stuff on adult websites, you should know that you can even shove an entire fist up. If a baby can come out or you can shove an entire arm in, then of course your PP will fit no matter the size. Last 2 figures over here for genuine section. Mesugaki Hirose Erika 1/7 scale, 16,000 yen, and the 1/5 scale version for 24,000 yen, releasing in May as well. So that is all for genuine figures on pre-order this week. Oh, Hadaka Lolly is the best thing ever. Next up, we have third-party resin figures on OSGK. Of course, all of the genuine figures you have just seen so far, you can also pre-order them on OSGK if this is where you prefer to get them from. Especially for Chinese brand figures, Hobby Sakura, Apex Toys, and so on, you may want to compare prices a bit because Chinese websites may have a lower price. Yeah. Okay, so for third parties this week, as usual, the first section is Chibi section, and we have this fabulous looking Anya. This is one of the best Anyas I've seen in recent months, cosplaying as Lelouch from Code Geass by ZH Studio, which if you watched my latest episode of which third-party resin figure brand is any good, episode 9, I made that very clear that ZH Studio is one of the best 3 third-party Anya figure brands out there. They are like Anya masters. So this is going to turn out really good. Yes, $118 is a bit expensive, but this is a pretty unique crossover between Code Geass and Anya. You get that very nice base with the helmet, and of course you choose between black hair and pink hair, right? But this time around, this is a tough choice. Both of them look pretty good, but I'm leaning towards the pink hair version this time around. And I have a feeling that they are going to make her eyes super glossy and even glow in the dark because they have done that in a few of their recent releases, right? So since, this pink eye over here, they might make it glow in the dark. That would be fabulous for sure. Next Anya figure from Power Studio. This is just Vanilla Anya, $66, but there are 4 versions over here, starting from $58. Oh, okay, different faceplates. If you want to get one, of course you get this one, right? Free peanuts included. So what other versions do we get? Oh, probably the more expensive one should be the one where you get both faceplates, I suppose. The LC1 version has the same head sculpt as version B. The LC version 2 has the same head sculpt as version A. What? Basically, you're getting two faceplates, I suppose. So 66 bucks. This is pretty much close to Nandroid price. And the height would be 7 centimeters? Are they serious? Is it 17 or 7 centimeters? 7 centimeters would be like gashapon size. No, I think that is a typo, 17 cm, but maybe clarify it with OSGK. Okay, moving on to the next one, we have Free Run Chibi version by Goods Studio, $92. Releasing in, okay, not release date yet, but this is a pretty good chibi figure of Free Run. Look at the detail levels on the hair, man. This is way above Nandroids, obviously. So I think the pricing is pretty fair, pretty decent over here. $92, and the height is 19 cm, including the base. Okay, it is a bit big as well. Not bad. Moving up next, we have, Chibi Reze from Chainsaw Man by Popo Studio, $98, releasing this December, 2 months away, and they actually have, okay, this is big, man. Okay, this is pretty big. So, under $100 is reasonable, and this is cute. Oh. Hopefully, one day I don't get up getting poisoned by this kind of figures. Moving up next, this is an example of how not to do chibi figures. Free Run and Reze earlier looked fantastic. But this one looks so wrong for some reason. And I think the problem is the face, because it is like they are sticking to an adult version. Let's call it JK version. Right? She's 16 or 17 years old, right? Okay, high school age. Okay, let's put it this way. They are sticking the face of a grown-up person onto the body of a child, if that makes any sense. So it looks off. It looks weird. So the concept when it comes to chibi figures is that if you are converting an existing anime or game character into a chibi variant, you need to lollify the character in a way. Lollify, I just created this word out of thin air. Add it to the dictionary in future maybe. So by lollify, I mean making a character look more childlike, make it look younger, right? So this is a good example of how you make a character look cuter and younger, so that you can fit her face onto a more chibi body, and everything will look a lot more normal, I suppose. But when you stick a grown-up adult's face onto a chibi body, then it looks really wrong, it looks really weird. So V8 Studio, I mean, this Asuka is a bust. Yeah, I don't like it at all, and even at $58, I would say no. Okay, moving on to the next one. Now we are entering original character section, but firstly, we have 3 life-sized plastic waifus for those of you who prefer to stay single. So all 3 are by this brand Basilia again, and every week they come up with these things. Yeah, every week. Fortunately, this week we have only 3. So the first one here, Casino Bunny, looks like reverse bunny outfit to me, so I am not scrolling through the pictures. $2,900 releasing in January 2026. The second one over here, we have City Lights Buff Magnolia 1x1 scale, $3,500. This is like Race Queen. Releasing in January. And the third one over here, same brand, 2.2U series Pure Moonlight Hibiscus Ultra Makeup, $2,800 releasing in January as well. And all 3 are, well, they are what they are, I suppose. Once again, if I want a 1x1 scale, I want an anime or game character, not some random original character like this. Alright, moving up next, original characters as well, but now actual figures. 1x6 scale Chinese style realistic PVC figure series, okay, by Odd Studio. So this is a PVC figure. This one is a PVC figure, which is why this is only $54. And there are 4 characters over here. And since these are PVC figures, it means that, yeah, most likely Japanese websites will take pre-order at some point. I'm just covering them early because this is a new brand, Odd Studio, I've never seen before. And I like this version a bit, just that it looks a bit weird because the rest of the body looks like real human. And then we get an anime head on top. This one looks a bit funny, I'm not sure why. And then we have Shishi over here and Jotun Witch. Oh, this is nice. Okay, so all 4 figures over here, they have fabric outfit. Can you remove them? I'm not sure. They did not explicitly mention it, but if you can, then you have 4 Hadaka PVC figures from a Chinese brand. Yep. Okay, moving on to the next one here. We Art Doing Studio, original character Sleeping Beauty, Kutul. Okay, I know what that creature is, but I just couldn't pronounce that word. Girl Abyss, Bloom, Phantom Blue, and Crimson Tide. Right? My mouth is jamming up when I speak for so long. So this figure is also available on AmiAmi if you want to pre-order it there. It is a licensed resin figure, and there are 3 color versions as usual. Abyss Bloom is the green one you're seeing on screen, and then there is a Phantom Blue version, which is not bad, and Crimson Tide, which is red, right? Yep. So when I see tentacles, I think I would prefer red, but there is too much red and pink on this figure. And I think the green one here looks pretty nice. So this is my favorite version amongst the 3. $225 each though, not cheap. And releasing in July 2026. Moving up next from Yunmeng Studio, this is like early announcement. No prototype, nothing, just an artwork. 1x6 scale Sayume, no price, no release date yet. And we don't even know if this is PVC or resin. Let me have a look. Okay, there's nothing, so no details yet. Moving up next, okay, this is a quick mention. This is a white model, as you can see in the title, which means you need to paint this figure yourself. This is a GK, so Zero Studio, misspelling I think. Zero Studio Griffin Monster 0, 1x7 scale, white model, $160. I suppose that buying that 9,000 yen figure from our treasure earlier, that Marin Kitagawa, isn't so bad anymore if you want to paint your own figures, you know, because, yeah, unpainted GKs like this, they can be pretty expensive as well. Moving on to the next one, now we enter anime character segment, and we only have one Piece figure over here, and appears like this is not painted yet. They are showing us CGI images only. No, this is an actual sculpt. This is not CGI, right? Okay. Anyways, looking good, the face at least. LX Studio Robin from One Piece. $280, they already have a price, and there are 2 versions over here. Different outfit, I see. Okay. I would want to see the colors first before I decide which one to get if I were to pre-order this figure. But the sculpt and everything, they look pretty promising, just that I want to know what the colors are like. $280 is pretty pricey, but you know, giant base and all, and wings, maybe it is justified. And the height is 35 cm, which is, I suppose that it is quite close to 1x6 scale when you deduct the height of the base. Moving up next, oh, nice. Hinata Hyuga from Naruto. This is by Nanoform Studio and Hoku Studio. $172 for, yeah, an almost Hadaka Hinata figure. And releasing in March 2026. And since OSGK did not label this figure as 18+, it means that you are stuck with 2 black color love-shaped objects on her oppa. You can't cast it off, so I mean, I'm fine with that, but it really depends. Some people don't like this. They want to see the pink dots. The face looks pretty good though. It looks accurate. It looks really like Hinata. So they are staying loyal to the original anime character design, and I really appreciate that. Nice addition to any Naruto fans collection, to be honest. This one looks promising. Next up, we have three AmiAmi Ray figures. The first one is by Strange Thief Studio, Bandage version, $143 releasing in June. Two versions here, version A and version B. Yup, I knew it. Long hair and short hair, so predictable. Okay, the pose is attractive, and to me, AmiAmi Ray, I will always prefer her with short hair. Pretty cheap price, and I see a good dose of shading on her bandages and on her hair, so this could potentially be a good purchase if you are a big fan of Evangelion. Strange Thief Studio, they have released some stuff already, right? They are leaning towards the budget side of things. A lot of the figures they release are lower budget resin figures. Yeah, $150 for example. So don't expect anything too extraordinary, but their figures tend to be fine. Moving up next, we have Lutawa Studio AmiAmi Ray Battle Suit version. Okay, so there is only AmiAmi Ray for $109. That is cheap. Okay, and then there is Unit 1, which I assume is the base only. Yep, $100, and then you can get the set for $170. Of course, if I were to get this, I would take the set, right? So, what do you think about her face? I think it looks pretty accurate. Looks like Ray. Oh, this is a great photograph, but it has to be photoshopped, man. This is not taken with a camera. This is either photoshopped or AI. I'm leaning towards Photoshop over here. Wow, the base is incredible. I love it. This is as close as you get when it comes to a look at her face, and it looks good mostly, but what do you guys think about her mouth region? I think it looks fine already, but at the same time, it feels like something is missing. However, I'm not sure if painting a little bit of lipstick or maybe a thin line on her mouth is a good idea either. I would say it is easy to figure it out. Just Photoshop the picture, scribble on it, and then you get a rough idea whether it looks good or not. But even if they did nothing to her mouth and keep things the way it is over here, I think it looks fine. Yeah, just that it felt like something is missing. I'm not sure what it is. Moving up next, the third one here. Okay, don't worry, we do have an anime version face. Alexandri Doma Studio and Wayland Bioscience Studio. What? Bioscience? Bioscience Studio, is this a pharmacy? A pharmaceutical company which is also making an anime figure? Okay, so they're calling this White Mold Neon Genesis Evangelion for some reason. I hope that the figure is painted, seriously, white mold. 1:3 scale, and there are a few versions over here. The base version starts from $636, yep. And okay, the product material over here, brand developed alloy movable frame, full body platinum silicone, handmade hair transplant head sculpt, and movable simulated glass eyeballs. Interesting. The eyeballs will also move. Fully imported PU, polyurethane, and acrylic base. DLC version 1 is evening gown, DLC version 2 is sports t-shirt and shorts. Okay, so we have a plug suit over here, fortunately, and it looks pretty nice. This is like real fabric outfit, I believe. So it won't be shiny and glossy unless they do the leather outfit, which could be more expensive. And we actually do get anime face. So all is good over here, not complaining this time around. So this is a bit like buying a Dolphy or a BJD doll. And the price is also roughly the same as those kind of things. This thing has potential, I would say. Pretty good offering. Moving up next, from Shenyin Studio, we have, this is from Suzume, Iwato Suzume and Sota Munakata. As a set, $406 at 1:6 scale. No, this is not 1:6. This is smaller, I think. June release. The whole thing, okay, this is actually 1:6 scale. Pretty close, I think. Not bad at all. So you're getting an entire diorama, clouds included. Kinda overkill. You know, they have this My Sakurajima figure crossing through a train track, I think, and there's a train approaching from behind, but it is like a diorama, but it is a flat object as the background for roughly 30,000 yen. So this reminds me of that, and I'm not exactly a big fan of it. But as a display piece, yes, it looks very good for sure. Okay, the face looks fine as well. Yep, a closer look. Not the best I've seen, but alright, it is okay, I guess. Not my kind of figure. Next up, we have Panty Studio Teresa and Claire from Claymore. $534. That is the collector's edition and 1x4 scale. Releasing in March 2026. This is third party, not licensed. I think, which one was it? Was it Tri-Eagles or Brahman Studio that has a licensed version? Not cheap, of course. I think the licensed version, by whatever brand it was, Tri-Eagles or Brahman Studio, the licensed one look a lot better. This one, the detail level is a bit lower, but you're getting two 1x4 scales for $534. Can't complain really. Next up, we have two Mikasa Ackerman figures from Attack on Titan. The first one is by Seda Studio. $349 at 1x6 scale, releasing in June 2026. Yeah, that explains the price of the figure. The base is at fault as usual. And I just want to have a closer look at her face. Okay, looking pretty good. Not that I'm surprised, because third parties, they have been doing a good job with Mikasa's face or any AOT character's face in general. They are pretty good at it. This is very nice. Yep, the texture you see in resin figures, that is the main reason why we buy resin in general. Moving up next, okay, this one is like, the detail level is kind of sad from Titan Studio, $216 for Mikasa, I think. Yep, Mikasa. Yeah, my problem is, okay, let me take back what I just said. There is some texture on her jacket. I thought it was just plain and flat, right? So there is some texture, and I can't really tell if they did shading. I think they did, because the picture is very dark. Anyways, the previous one is way nicer. This is way nicer, yeah. Okay, next up, this is one of the main highlights this week. And boy, I have never shown any interest in Panty Stocking Garterbelt figures, right? I was considering to pick up the pop-up braids, the pop-up braid L, because, how do I put it? Like Panty Stocking Garterbelt, just like Uma Musume or Atelier Ryza or FGO, they are major icons in the world of Japanese entertainment, especially anime and games, right? They are iconic characters in general. So I would love to have a figure of these iconic characters someday, no hurry. And I was looking to pick up only the pop-up braid Ls in future. And then now, Dodomo Studio comes up with this pair of figures, which are pretty difficult to resist, because they got their faces so right. The faces is as good as it gets. Like, this is comparable to genuine licensed figures when it comes to the sculpt of their face. Pretty accurate, pretty and all. And number two, they don't even need to give us cast off parts to make the figure look so seductive, so hot and so on, so attractive. So this is a bit like pole dancers in a way. Yeah, the way I see this pair of figures, pole dancing. And it looks like the girl on the left, her hair is connected to the base, so we won't have to worry about the figure leaning. The one on the right, Panty, right? I think the weight distribution on that is better, because she doesn't have long and heavy hair. So this pair of figures, one set for $399, is not exactly that expensive. $200 each at 1x6 scale, and the most recent few releases by Dodomo Studio, they are pretty good, right? I shared the Asuna with you guys in my recent video, though it was only one single pic, looked amazing. And then their Cecilia from Gundam Witch from Mercury was also really good from what I heard. So the only negative is that you are not getting your cast off parts because China no longer allows it. But if that is not an issue for you, I would say that pre-order it. This is really good. Yeah, I am very tempted. I really want it. Right, moving up next. From Green Tea Studio. Yeah, they just had this other pink hair girl. I don't remember her name, obviously. The twin tail pink hair girl was on pre-order just a couple of weeks ago. Finally, Saeko Busujima is on pre-order and it is cast offable. Let me repeat that. This figure is cast offable both top and bottom. So if you want your pink slit between the legs of an anime figure, you're getting it with this one over here for only $233. 1/6 scale, releasing in September 2026. Why is the name Busujima even a thing in Japanese? Because Busu means ugly, right? She's not ugly at all. Why is she called Busujima? Anyways, this is a good figure of Saeko from HOTD, and we don't get many HOTD figures nowadays, even from third parties. Moving up next, we have HR Studio Night Series, Makima and Weze from Chainsaw Man. Okay, this one, they take existing anime characters and then they inflate their chest into huge, giant balloons for those people who love it big. So not my kind of thing. I prefer my anime characters, my game characters to be accurate in terms of body proportions compared to the actual character design from the original artist. So this is not my kind of thing. And the face is also a bit different. It is like they make it more mature looking, more MILF looking. So I like it even less now. $481 for a set at 1/6 scale, releasing in March 2026. Of course, go through the pictures yourself. I can't scroll through the pictures over here, not on YouTube. Next one here, another Weze figure from Chainsaw Man by Crown Studio. $331. That is for the boom version, is it? Okay, boom version is $331 and the standard version is $215. So it is just the base being different. The regular version, it is just a figure and a plain round disc base, and the picture you're seeing on screen, all this wall is the boom version, $331. So is this actually cast offable? I'm not sure. I think it is. OSGK has labeled her as 18 plus. Yeah, and they censored the picture heavily. So even if there is a bear or pie version with the pink part between her legs, I couldn't see it because they censored it. I scrolled through the picture, they censored everything. So maybe clarify it with them if you want the figure. The face looks fantastic. Very nice. Moving up next. Wow. Finally, cultured anime figures are back. And I mean very cultured stuff. So I can't show you much, right? You can just go to OSGK and search for Asuna or Alice, and you are guaranteed to find this listing over here and go through the pictures yourself. So basically, this is an alternate universe where, at the end of season 1 of SAO, Professor Sugo would successfully Sugo Asuna. That is what I call it. Asuna getting Sugoed. Sugoed. Another new word for the Urban Dictionary. Asuna getting Sugoed by Fishhead Studio, which I believe is TXS Studio, but rebranded as a new name. You can have her at 1/6 scale for $299 or 1/4 scale, which is even more glorious at $499. No, $550, sorry. $550 for the 1/4 scale, which is still worth it. As long you can display something like this at home. And there is an Alice version as well. Okay, moving on to the next one. Make Zero Studio has a 1/6 scale Brazilian Hatsune Miku for $191. Looks very pretty. Smoking hot. December 2026 release. So I have a very simple question over here, and that would be, why did they call this Hatsune Miku Brazilian version? Is it because she has brown skin? If it was about skin color, they could have called this Mexican version or Spanish version. It wouldn't make a difference. Like, wait, is Spanish latte a lot darker than normal latte? I think it is, right? Could have called this Spanish Miko. Or they could call this a more deportable version of Miko. So if you plan to import this to the United States, I'm not sure if ICE agents will have any problems with this figure. I hope not. Anyways, joking aside, I think this looks fantastic, right? And a very different Miko figure for once. So I think $191 is very reasonable. Just that I wish that there is more details on the guitar over there. And also, they need to add strings onto the guitar. Yeah. Moving on to the next one here. Now we are moving into game characters section. So the first one here from Dungeon Fighter, we have Syria and the Goblin. Hehe. By Up Studio and Double Z or Double Z Studio. So the standard version is going for $251, where you are not getting the Goblin. So what is the point, right? Get the deluxe version for $331 so that you have a Goblin. You can have a Goblin spanking her. Just that the face of this figure does not really look that good, so maybe save your money and buy something else like that cultured Sugoat Asuna figure earlier. That is way better. Moving on to the next one here from Les Studio, we have Chun-Li from Street Fighter. 1x4 scale. Okay, version A is going for $349. Version B, I couldn't show on screen, way too cultured, for almost $300, or you can get both for $550. And the problem I have with this Chun-Li figure is very simple, and it is not the face. I am forgiving the figure for the realistic face over here. In fact, it looks pretty close to the game character design in Street Fighter 6. My problem is the leg. For some reason, I feel like I'm looking at a cheap action figure where you just rotate the leg a full 180 degrees to the top. Yeah, I mean, anatomically speaking, it looks a bit weird. It almost looks like her left hip is dislocated in some way. The shape looks a bit weird. I'm not sure. Yeah, no toys for children, and then the leg region is just a simple swivel joint, not a ball joint. You know, just cheaper toys for children, action figures. So you turn it all the way up. Yeah, it feels like looking at that to me. But maybe I'm just nitpicking, I'm not sure, but I am very familiar with anime or game characters stretching their legs like that. So common, right? And this one looks a tad bit weird to me, if I have to be honest. Okay, moving on to the next one from Jime Play Studio. This one was from One Fest Shanghai. We have Bounty Hunter Misfortune from League of Legends at 1x6 scale, licensed, $543 releasing in December 2026. Okay, this is really nice, and I can see people pre-ordering this one. LOL fans are going to love this. Oh, do you know what is my biggest problem with this figure over here? For some reason, when I look at her face, it reminds me of Amber Heard. Yeah, I mean Amber Heard. Reminds me of her so much, and I don't know why. So, it is still a pretty face. And Amber Heard, as a human being, she is a beautiful human being, but only on the outside, not on the inside apparently, going by what happened to her court case with her ex-husband. So, anyways, this reminds me of Amber Heard so much, I don't know why. Licensed figure, so this is as good as it gets. I expect Jime Play Studio to do a good job with this one. Moving up next, we have Matrix Studio 2B from Nier Automata. This is a bit like a bust figure, but not a bust figure at the same time, because the only thing you're not getting are her legs. So there are two versions over here. Each of them are going for $431. At 1x4 scale, you can get both for $752, which I don't see the point. And there are LEDs inside. So this is quite nice as a display piece. And between the silver version and the gold version, to me, I think I would prefer the silver version over here. Even the gold one looks really nice because, I mean, 2B as a character, you know, it has never crossed my mind that gold would be a very good color to go with her character, because the entire character is pretty much monotonous in color, you know, just gray, black, silver, white, other than skin color, obviously. So when the whole character is black and white and silver in a way, then putting her in a silver frame, display frame, is a lot more appropriate. At least that is what I feel. So I would take the silver one, I suppose, given the choice. But it looks pretty good. And I received questions on whether the front panel is glass or plastic, acrylic, right? The answer is acrylic. It is stated in the product description down below. So, of course, I would prefer glass because glass is it is more resistant to wear and tear, right? It won't scratch as easily as acrylic plastic, and it won't turn yellow. Acrylic plastic can turn yellow over time as well. So that is a shame, but I suppose that they had to use plastic to prevent the thing from breaking during shipping. Moving up next, we have first 4 figures. Oracle Sakura Futaba from Persona 5, licensed figure brand, $266 at 1/6 scale, releasing in September 2026. Now, my problem here is that I'm not sure if I like her face, and her face is a bit disappointing, coming from a licensed figure brand. She looks possessed. Her smile looks creepy, man. And unfortunately, the one by Amakuni, I think, Amakuni, or was it Mega House? I think Amakuni has a scale figure of her, pretty rare by now. Amakuni's version is so much better. Or whichever that genuine figure brand is, could be wrong, but the genuine PVC of her that came out a few years ago looks so much better. The smile over here, the face looks kind of creepy to me. I'm not sure why. And I would love to see more shading on her outfit in general. This is just plain black. The hair is also lacking shading, so I don't like this one. Moving up next, okay, we have 2 figures from Xenoblade Chronicles. The first one is Poppy JD. Is that her name? Her name, according to this part over here, is Poppy Cutie Pie. Oh yeah, Cutie Pie. Okay, Cutie Pie, get it. Pretty creative way of naming character. Poppy Cutie Pie. Alright, by Revival Studio. This reminds me of Mecha Musume or Kotobukiya's FAG. Frame Arms Girl. Going for $198 at no scale mentioned, but it is pretty close to 1/6 scale. Releasing this December, 2 months away. And the height would be 35. Okay, this is taller than 1/6 even with the base. It is like 1/5.5 at this point. Yep, I love my mecha girls. I love science fiction, but I'm trying not to touch Xenoblade Chronicles because I have enough stuff to purchase already, but I like this figure a lot. The face looks really good as well. And at least a different character, not just Pyra and Mitra all the time. But the next one here, yeah, we are getting a cultured figure of Pyra and Mitra with extra thick opai and extra thick legs. And this one is castable, both top and bottom. So if I were to compare this pair of figures, the way they are stretching their legs compared to that Chun-Li figure earlier, this one looks more natural in a way. It is not like characters with really thick muscles like this can stretch this way. It is unrealistic. You see gymnasts, right? The gymnast and the yoga people, they can stretch, but those people are quite slender. You don't see muscular people like this stretching their legs like that. But putting that aside, the way they sculpted the anatomy on how they are stretching their legs, this one looks more natural than Chun-Li earlier. And I suppose that this is a no-brainer for those of you who want cultured Xenoblade figures. They look pretty good. The face is also excellent, so you may want to take a look at this one. This is by Genius B Studio, Mitra and Pyra 1/6 scale for a set $313 only. So you're looking at $165, $168 each. Very affordable, in fact, for something castable and cultured. Releasing in September 2026. Next up, Sakura Core Studio has a battle dress saber from Fate Stay Night. This reminds me of an Alter Saber-made figure from so many years ago. It was a OneFest exclusive. That figure is like 12, 13 years old, if not older by now. So this one is a 1/4. Oh, you can have her in 1/6 as well. 1/6 is going for $235 and 1/4 is $315. Okay. So, okay, the picture is low res. I can't even zoom in. Oh my god. This is a fail. No, don't pre-order this. I feel like I'm looking at a bootleg Saber figure, man. Her eyes are big and her eyes are a tad bit too close to each other. What the heck is this, man? This is a fail. Oh my god. Are there any pictures for me to look at her from different angles? Nope. It still looks off. Way too off over here. Nope. 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 Okay, that is a bad face. Moving on to the next one here from New Age Studio, we have Siren from Honkai Star Rail. Wait, is this Siren? Oh, okay. Siren is just Honkai Star Rail's version of Alicia from Honkai Impacted. Am I right? Okay. Looks exactly the same, man. $297 for the DX version. Why would you get both, right? The difference is the outfit. One has a dress and one is a bit more hadaka. I would just take the version A and be done with it. Version B, you get extra parts for you to swap out, but it is not like I can make the figure hadaka, so what is the point? I would take version A for $189. Yeah. Alright, moving on to the next one here from Hakimi Studio. Okay, finally, Genshin stuff are back. It feels like third parties have not touched Genshin stuff in a long time, and even more so for characters like Yae Miko and Raiden Shogun. They had enough of it, but somehow Hakimi Studio is making a new one here. So we have Raiden Shogun, regular version, the one you are seeing on screen, $296 at 1/6 scale. And then there is a wedding version over here. Not sure if I would want one, but the face looks really good though. Right, the face is excellent even. So wedding version is $187, or you can get both. $809. Oh, okay. This is like the DX version where you get everything. Yae Miko and Raiden Shogun, and both the standard version over here and the wedding version. So let me have a look at Yae Miko. Okay. Hakimi Studio is good, by the way. Right? Not the best third-party brand, but they get their faces right. So go for it if you like what you're looking at. And back to Raiden Shogun over here. A quick close look at the face. Yep. Sasuga. I did not expect any less from this brand. Right, moving up next, we have Yae Miko apparently from Genshin Impact. Since when does this look like Yae Miko? And this is by Wayland Bioscience Studio. This is like some random doll, which is 1/3 scale from the looks of it. And then they just called her Yae Miko just because they have the same hair color. And regular version is going for $636 with DLC. Okay, now she looks a bit more like her. $691. Okay, think of this as a realistic version of Yae Miko and it makes sense. Can display her next to your Dolphys. And then there are a few more different outfits, I suppose. DLCB or Bunny outfit. Alright. And okay, this is unnecessary really. I would take this outfit and nothing else. Moving on to the next one here. Two Azur figures. The first one is Omi from Yao Ming Studio. And this Azur figure is fabulous. The face is beautiful, man. And this is a brand I can vouch for easily. Yao Ming Studio. Very nice. $233, and I think it is worth every penny. You're getting a nice base as well. Releasing in June 2026. I would regard this as one of the main highlights this week, together with that Panty Stocking Garterbelt earlier by Dodomo Studio. Next up, we have Miyin Studio. Also a main highlight this week, Kashino from Azur. So the one on the right, that is exactly the same one that Apex Toys is making, and I believe that the pre-order is starting soon, in a week or two, right? So Apex Toys made the one on the right in 1/7 scale as a PVC figure, and I predict maybe 23,000 yen. But this time around, Miyin Studio is trying to convince you to get theirs, because even though this may be resin figures, you're getting two Kashino figures over here for $235. Yes, both as a set. And there are no options over here to buy them separately. So I am going to assume that everything you're seeing in this picture for $235, which is insane, right? And Miyin Studio, I just spoke about them last week. They are making licensed Nikke figures. coming soon. So if they're getting recognized, they could get the license. It means that their figures are actually up to standard. So this is a good brand. Right, and the last figure for today, what a long figure news week. Alice 21 Studio, another excellent figure brand. This is Skirk Cause Hornet from a game called Hollow Knight, which I've never heard of. $187 releasing in March 2026. Alright. Oh, okay. I think I recognize this character. I recognize this character. Of course, I don't remember the name. Oh, this is beautiful, man. Look at the gradient work on the hair. Yeah, the shading. And her outfit is shiny, pearlescent, metallic even. Very nice. Oh, this is one of the main highlights this week as well. So we have the 4 Musketeers of this week. The 2 Arzelian figures earlier, this one, and Dodomo Studio's Panty Stocking Garterbelt. Oh, this is very nice, and $187 is very reasonable. So that would be all for figures on pre-order this week. Which one will you pre-order on day 1, or which one will you get after release? Let me know down in the comments below. And thanks a lot for watching. I hope that you found this helpful or informative, or at least entertaining. If it is, please do give this video a like and subscribe to this channel for more anime figure content every week. And until then, I'll see you soon. Goodbye.